Federal authorities arrested the former CEO of Abercrombie last week, and now the U.S. Attorney's Office is releasing detailed information about exactly what he did. Fair warning, the guy who used this kind of marketing to target literal children turned out to be a huge creep. Mike Jeffries served as Abercrombie CEO from 1992 to 2014. During that time, he transformed Abercrombie into the dominant brand in malls across America. They used heavily sexualized branding, live shirtless models outside the stores, and a thick mist of perfume that even Mrs. Fields' cookies couldn't compete. Trust me, you smelled Abercrombie long before you saw it. During the 2000s, they specifically marketed to college, high school, and middle school aged kids. But not everyone was welcome in these stores. The brand used overtly sexual imagery to attract what they thought were cool kids while simultaneously shaming and excluding uncool kids. And Mike Jeffries totally endorsed this strategy. Mind you, this store markets to kids, but when Jeffries was asked about how important sex and sexuality were to his branding strategy, he replied, "It's almost everything." He went on to say that any kids who he thought were undesirable were not welcome in his store. For example, the store got into a lot of trouble for not even carrying full-sized girls' clothing. So I need to pause for a second and ask, have you ever shopped at one of these stores when you were a kid? And if you did, how did it make you feel? Because those policies eventually led to a $50 million class action alleging employment discrimination against Asian, Black, and Latino applicants. But that lawsuit had no effect on Jeffries using his position as CEO to target boys and young men for exploitation. Between 2008 and 2015, Jeffries led a multi-million-dollar international sex trafficking operation. Prosecutors say he lured young men into modeling tryouts, which were really more of a casting couch kind of situation. The allegations say that the young men were lured into these tryouts with promises of a successful modeling career. According to the criminal complaint, these young men were given muscle relaxants, penetrated with toys, lathered in lubricant, in one instance injected with ED medication. All of this was done so that they would be forced to perform sexual activities that they were unable to do due to being incapacitated or didn't want to do. But the first cracks formed a few years ago when Netflix published White Hot, a scathing documentary about the Jeffries empire. That opened the door to multiple investigations that eventually led to U.S. attorneys filing criminal charges in New York. Jeffries, who is now 80 years old, pled not guilty to 1 count of human trafficking and 15 counts of prostitution. After posting a $10 million bond, Jeffries is not being held in custody, but the feds want to hold his home as collateral in case he tries to run away, and he is subject to GPS monitoring. And all of this raises a few big questions. Like, one, should stores that specifically exclude certain kinds of people even be allowed to exist? Here's the even bigger question. Should retailers even be allowed to use this kind of marketing directed at kids? And if you made it this far, you are clearly interested in deep dives into legal news. So why not follow for more?